And the locals will drive by in their boat, smile and wave at them as they pass by them.
Is that a railroad track here?
Uh-huh. That's the train ride that runs on Saturdays, but right now it's closed. It won't reopen until October the 8th for the haunted train.
That's cool. Goes right along the river.
It's actually part of the original railroad that they got here in the late 1800s from Dallas to Jefferson and back. It was a narrow gauge. The cotton farmers finally got them a rail to Jefferson to haul their cotton. And so the railroad would bring the cotton up here, drop it off, then the steamboats they'd load it on the steamboats and you'd go on back down to New Orleans. And then in 1907, when they started bringing the bridge and taking the railroad on down and cross the bayou, that was 1906 was the last year the steamboats came up here. Matter of fact, my grandfather,
That's a turtle.
oh yeah, you'll see lots of turtles. My grandfather, when he was a little boy, he remembers living there in Uncertain, hearing the whistles and going out there and watching the big paddle wheels go by.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because he died in the late 80s. He was 97 when he died.
Wow.
I have some friends in Uncertain.
Yeah, if y'all get a chance, you need to go down to Uncertain too.
Yeah.
See Caddo Lake.
Yeah.
The road, the main road here that you turned off of that goes into Jefferson. If you go up on top of the hill, take a left. That's
Yeah.
134.
Uh-huh.
Just stay on it. Don't turn off of it.
Yeah, I've been
And when
through
it
that
dead ends, and you're not sure where you're at, you're in Uncertain, Texas,
one. I know.
and Caddo
I know.
Lake.
I
And they
worked
do
there.
have some really good boat tours down there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a good eating place down there called Big Pine Lodge, and Captain Ron's Swamp Tours goes out of there. And then there's some there at Shady Glade Marina. They're in Uncertain that are really good.
Did you see the dog, Carla?
I did.
And what's his name, Buddy?
Buddy.
Your dog, Buddy?
Hey, so I have an off-the-wall question. You watch some of those shows, you know, that they go alligator hunting, right?
Swamp People.
And they hang that. Did they do that anywhere?
Oh yeah, gator season just ended
Oh, yeah.
last weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't do it up here, but now you go 6 miles down at Gator Slough where the Black Cypress comes in. They do there because there's some big gators in there.
Now, what are you going to do when you get to down here where that tree's across the river?
I'm gonna get a running start here in just a second. So if you got false teeth, take them out and tighten your bra straps up.
You're saying that?
Yeah, I
Our
know.
daddy used
Yeah.
to jump logs
Yeah.
in the Angelina and
Yeah.
Toyac River. He's
Yeah.
done it.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Daddy would go, "Where's
He
the
has,
baseman?"
and sometimes he'd go under him, and sometimes he would jump them.
Y'all ever been to Cushing,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Looneyville,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Reclaw?
Yes.
Yes.
Got people buried there. Relatives buried there.
A lot of my family's from there.
Is
Matter of
that?
fact, Reclaw is named after part of my family. Walker.
Whitaker's,
Anybody that last name of Blackburn, Looney, McKnight.
We're related to
Rollison?
the Blackburns.
Yeah, my step grandfather was a Blackburn, Furman Blackburn, and all the McKnights I'm kin to, all the Loonies. Well, Looneyville was named after them, and then the Walkers, Reclaw, because Reclaw spelled backwards is Walker.
So when things like this happen in the trees falling river, there's not some kind of committee or any kind of funds raised at you that
I
has
take
to
care of
remove
my
them?
little area.
Okay.
I get out and I cut just enough so I can get the boat
So you
around
get
because
through.
they make good speed bumps.
Okay.
These idiots in these wave runners and
Right.
speedboats
Yeah.
that started coming up here and they fly up and down this
Yeah.
bayou.
Yeah.
It slows them down a little bit.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a good
Because
point.
they in the last 2 years they killed our kayak canoe tourism.
Really?
I've rented those kayaks that were sitting out front.
Yeah, I know.
Those
I
are
used
the
to rent
first
them.
ones I've rented all year, and they came and took them back to Longview.
Really?
Yeah, they were having a fundraiser for the local animal society, and between Longview and Gilmer, out there's a place, and they got like an 8 or 10 acre lake, and they were having games and stuff like that, raising money. So they came here, and we donated them. We didn't rent them; we donated them. So I actually have not rented the first canoe or kayak this year, because when they called and asked me if the wave runners and the speedboats coming up, I said, yeah, they go somewhere else. because they have run over. They've run over them, they
Yeah.
flipped them, and everything else. I've had numerous. Memorial Weekend, I had 6 of them arrested. They hit this boat.
Holidays are the worst, right?
No, Saturdays and Sundays are the worst. Actually, Labor Day weekend, we didn't hardly have any activity up here for some reason. Well, the Bayou was still low, and they knew that it was really bad low in August up here, so they weren't coming up here. They just now started coming up here, but it's some of the locals, and they're coming up here slow, like they should.
It's usually we have the same problem.
It's the out-of-towners.
They just come up, they don't care.
They don't
you know,
care.
They wreck everything
I mean,
apart.
it's dangerous for them.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, last weekend we had a jet boat, and luckily he was aluminum, and he come flying under that bridge, and just big enough, you know, it only seats 2 people, and he came on the wrong side of the bridge, so I knew he was not from here, and he got hung up. There's a log across there about this far under the water, and he got hung up. If that had been a fiberglass hull, yeah, he'd been screwed. But it was aluminum, and he came up to me where I was turning the boat around, fixing to do a tour, and he was looking for the bar, Andy Skinner's. I said, well, it ain't on the water. Well, how do you get? I said, well, you gotta go down here and park, and then walk about 4 blocks. And that's what they do. They come up here, they park them on the bank, and they go up here at the bar and spend 2 or 3 hours drinking, and then they come back, get on them, then they really act like idiots.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not this year. Lack of respect.
Kind of hoping we'd see the otter this morning. He may have finally went back upstream where he belongs. They usually don't start coming down here till it gets cool.
So since you've been doing this, how many trees have done this that you've had to?
Well, that one back there. Now back here at the boat ramp, now I had to pull them out because there were so many of them back in the spring that fell that I had to pull them out. Now coming up here shortly, there's 3 down up here that I left in, but I got just enough room to get around them.
Some of the ones that got there, the roots are just like it looks like it ain't day. They might want to.
Yeah. Now, if it's a cypress or river birds, they won't fall. I take you to Kettle Lake. Oh, ma'am.
Sorry about that. This boat has got to balance itself.
That's why we said like this. We used to always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can take you on Kettle Lake on some of the old growth cypress. They say cypress is probably the oldest living trees in North America. They say they get thousands of years old. The old growth cypress, the wood doesn't rot, and all cypress trees are termite resistant. They're insect resistant. You notice one thing? No mosquitoes down here?
Yeah, that's not what I expected. Yeah.
2 reasons. This bayou has got a lot of springs, so it keeps the water cooler. And the cypress trees, they're a natural insect repellent.
Is that right? So there's not mosquitoes.
That's awesome.
That
Yeah, that is right.
that is great.
Unknown caller.
Yeah, and that's also why we don't get a lot of gators up here, because the water is cooler. Now, when we start seeing them, we'll see them every day for 3 or 4 weeks, and then they disappear. Off out on each side, there's sloughs and swamps, and there's lots of gators, some big ones. Well, they've depleted their food source in those sloughs and swamps, so they come out here to the bayou to feed. And they'll get their fill in about 3 or 4 weeks, and once they do that, then they may not eat again for another couple of months.
It's a nice day to be out.
Yeah.
It's not hot
Not yet. It's supposed to get up to 98
today.
and I think 99 tomorrow. Monday, it's supposed to be like it should be. Low 80s and lows in the 50s.
That right there, is that just happened to be where a tree fell, or did somebody die there?
Oh,
That
this
cross,
the
The cross.
cross.
Right
where
there.
that pole over
It
there.
looked like it from back there. No, it must not be. Never
I
mind.
was gonna say I don't remember
From
seeing
back there.
a cross.
Right there. It
It's
looks
just
like
the way it they
Log over a log along the street.
Yeah, back there.
I don't see it.
So how many springs are there?
I don't know. There's thousands.
water.
Yeah, this is fresh water.
It's actually
Yes.
it's actually
I still can't hear you.
The name of it, this is a bayou, but what is
Oh,
it?
Big Cypress Bayou.
Big Cypress Bayou.
Yeah, there's 4 bayous that feeds Caddo Lake. Big Cypress is the main one, then Black Cypress, then Little Cypress, and then James Bayou that comes out of Vivian and Oil City.
So like, there's a house up there. Like, how
That's
many?
an RV park.
Oh, okay. Do people? I mean, I'm not seeing a lot of homes like people that live on the.
You won't, when we turn around, there's a house there, and then you go another 6 miles down, and that's where all the houses start. All the land on the bayou in Caddo Lake is privately owned, except for the little piece of the state park and the wildlife refuge. Rest of it is private. Once you get down, before you get to Highway 43 bridge, then you got a lot of houses that start up.
Did you have to do like this cutting?
Yeah, I had to cut that.
That's it.
Yeah, that's where I was cutting that one, trimming it up. I was in the water and I had a gator come up and bump me in my shoulder.
Oh my God.
He's just a little one, about a 4 or 5 footer. They're curious. They normally don't bother humans.
That's all everybody has said when I've asked about them. Is
Yeah.
that, you know,
Now during nesting season in the spring, female gators are probably one of the most dangerous animals we have around here because they're highly protective of their nest and their young. And anything out of the ordinary, they'll attack. They'll attack this boat if I get too close to the nest.
But if you go on Caddo Lake, you'll see people with houses backing up to it, and they'll have slides to slide off into the water.
yeah, yeah,
But they're not worried about the gators.
yeah.
I know.
Nobody seems to be.
The only thing we worry about out here are alligator snapping turtles.
Huh?
Alligator snapping turtles. Yeah, they get way over 100 pounds.
in here.
Yes. They have over 1,000 pounds of pressure per square inch on their bite. A small one this big can take fingers and toes on a single bite. One about 30 pounds can take a foot or a hand on a single bite. And they have a locking mechanism on the bottom muscle of their jaw. So when they clamp down, you can't pry it open. The only way to get them to release is to cut their throat. You gotta cut that muscle. And they're highly protected.
Now, does this go under the highway down up here?
It goes under Highway 43 down here.
43.
Now, if you go back the other way, it goes under 59. But you got to be in a kayak canoe to get up there.
I'm gonna say goodbye.
If the water was deep enough up there, I would love to
Bye.
take
We'll
the
get
tour
back
boats
with
up
you
there.
in a little while. We'll do it.
It's a lot
We'll do
prettier
another
up
video
there.
a little later.
And there's
Thank
some
y'all
history up there
for
too.
joining us.
The old stagecoach cross